rewatch of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchise with the new Jurassic World Rebirth just on the horizon. I am now on to Jurassic Park 3, the third movie in the illustrious franchise. This is a movie that had a lot of potential. I love the fact that they decided to go on a smaller scale in this movie versus like The Lost World, because The Lost World did what a lot of sequels try to do. It tried to ramp everything up. It tried to be bigger and better and more in your face than the first movie. And unfortunately, it fell flat in a lot of areas. Jurassic Park 3 kind of pulls things back, which I appreciate. However, despite that, it falls flatter in areas, I would say. A lot of potential here, and a lot of it just doesn't get executed the way I would have liked to seen it. And it's kind of I would say probably the most forgettable movie in the franchise. There's worse entries in this franchise, which I will get to. However, this one just feels the most forgettable because it's kind of like, at the end of it, it's like, did this really need to happen? There's things that I do like about it. It's great to see Sam Neill come back to the franchise, as well as Laura Dern, even though she is barely in the movie and doesn't actually go to the island. But this is another one where the story leaves a lot to be desired, because with this, Sam Neill, he gets recruited by William H. Macy and Téa Leoni. They're a couple who basically scam Sam Neill's character into coming with them to Isla Sorna, which they think is the park and island that Sam Neill's character originally went to in that first movie. However, he went to Isla Nublar, again with the two island thing, whatever. But they try to bring him as a guide to take them to the island and kind of show them around. But what they're actually doing is their son was parasailing near the island. He got lost with his, I don't know if it's his stepdad or mom's boyfriend, whatever it is. But he gets lost, and I believe they say it's been 8 weeks. In real life, that kid is dead, especially on an island with dinosaurs. But nonetheless, they try to go there and find the kid and bring him back home. So they, bring in Sam Neill and his friend, who's played by Alessandro Nivola. And yeah, the movie just doesn't really have a lot going for it in the story department. And once it gets revealed that there's ulterior motives going on where, they actually aren't rich and, they're going to pay Sam Neill all this money to come take them on a tour of the island. It's just like, yeah, we know. We all saw that coming. Don't worry. There's no big twist here. We know where this is going. But it's kind of like that throughout the entire movie, unfortunately, where, little things that could have been really good don't really get fleshed out all that well. This is another movie where you have characters that just don't really work or pull you in. Sam Neill is good in the movie, but just like Jeff Goldblum in part 2, it just looks like he's tired and doesn't want to be there. He's just kind of going through the motions in most of the scenes. And even though it's great to see him, we've seen better days from Dr. Grant, unfortunately. And then you got like William H. Macy and Téa Leoni. Neither one of them are all that engaging in the movie, which is a shame, because when you have William H. Macy, like, that guy hits all the time in his roles. And this is one that's just like, I forgot he's even in this movie. Elsewhere in the cast, you don't really have much. Alessandro Nivola is one of the most forgettable characters of all time. And not trying to get into any spoilers necessarily, but there is no way his character is alive at the end of this movie. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. His character's dead. The whole ending of this movie is so stupid. And then, yeah, really outside of that, you got the kid who's played by Trevor Morgan, who I thought was actually a pretty good young actor when he was younger. He hasn't really done much recently, but when he was a kid, he was in a good bit of stuff, and I thought he was pretty solid. This movie, he's the precocious kid, because there's a kid in all these movies for some reason, and he's fine. There's nothing really bad with him per se. But outside of that, you really don't have anybody else in the movie, except for Michael Jeter, who is wasted, and then two other guys, and Laura Dern, who is also wasted. I don't know, with this movie, there's just not really a lot to latch on to. The effects here, I think for the most part, kind of hold up. There's some decent animatronics and puppetry and things like that going on with the physical effects. But you know, some of the CGI is looking a little wonky here and there. There's not really a whole lot of like really good action scenes in this movie. The best scene in the movie by far is when they get stuck in the pterodactyl cage, the bird cage scene. That one has a lot of nice atmosphere and really kind of builds some good tension because it's foggy, you can't really see what's going on, and then you have the pterodactyl coming out of the fog slowly, and then the music kicks in and ramps up and things get real tense. And that is a great scene. It's like, where was this the rest of the movie? Because the finale of this movie sucks. You know, there's not really much going on here, and it's just kind of a dud of a movie. You know, like I said, it had a lot of potential because I appreciate the fact that it pulled back the reins and kind of scaled everything down. But if you're gonna do that, you gotta execute really well, and this movie just doesn't do that on too many levels. This is the first movie in the series that is not directed by Steven Spielberg. This one was done by Joe Johnston, who I think is a pretty decent director, but he just doesn't hit anywhere close to Spielberg, even compared to The Lost World. Like, there are elements of this movie that I do like more than Lost World, but Lost World is, I would say, a better made movie overall than Part 3. So yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the franchise and haven't seen this, you may get something out of it, but it's not really one I would recommend. It's on the lower tier of the franchise, unfortunately, when it had the potential to actually be one of the best in the series, at least to me. That's about it for me, guys. If you have seen Jurassic Park 3, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave comments. That way the channel can succeed and move on and everything. I'll leave all my links down below on where you can follow me and check out more of my reviews. And until next time, I'll catch you guys